Good evening. The opinions and statements voiced by our guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this network. Enjoy the shows.
We've been expecting you.
Monday, time for our maven of the supernatural, Denise Pridemore. This is the Paranormal Pride. Join to listen and chat live on WBHM-DB.com or Spreaker app. Search WBHM-DB every Monday at 7 p.m. Central for your supernatural paranormal fix. Welcome to the Paranormal Pride, where the show is about the guest and the listener.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk only on Paranormal Experience Radio. Broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore. My guest tonight is Michelle LeBaron, and I know quite a few of you know who she is. You've seen her on Facebook, and she's a pretty well tries to stay drama free, even though sometimes people just push her buttons. And from that, I found out that I really like her a lot because she actually says what's on her mind, and I respect that. So welcome to the show, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. And like I said, I remember watching a couple of your videos that you'd done on Facebook, calling people out for being bullies and things like that. Usually I won't put out a video on anything like that. Sometimes I'll write something up and put it out there, but mostly because of the fact that I don't need the stress of defending myself. You seem to thrive on that part.
You know, I've been through it a lot these past few years, from people that are just, not very nice people. You think they're nice. You think they're your friends. They use you. They talk smack about you, lies about you, and then I find that people send me screenshots of these so-called friends of mine. And I've come to now to the point where if somebody says anything about me or says lies or starts spreading stuff on Facebook or, name bash me, I'll go on and I'll tell them. I'll say, if you hear anything, don't believe it. Some of you people that do know me, know that it's not true. And what I do is I block them. I block them immediately, and I don't have to look at their stuff. I don't have to hear about it. I don't have to see them. And I say what I have to say, and I leave it at that, and I drop it. I don't go any further with the drama because it's just stupid. It's like kindergarten.
Junior high school. Yeah. High school stuff.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to put up with it, and I won't. And now it's got to the point, if someone wants to say smack or anything, I will name bash you. I will say your name, and then I will stop it there, and I will leave it at that. And you know what? Every time that I have said what I had to say and I backed off of it, they just went away. They just went away, and I didn't have to deal with it anymore.
Well, that's good because I know I was getting bullied this month from the Rick Rose passing, because me and a few other people were really good friends of his, and we were standing up for him, and I even got death threats. And the thing is it wasn't people in the paranormal. It was just people that were militant about COVID, one way or another. Didn't matter which way they went, but they fed into everything, made Rick famous all around the world, and he would have loved every minute of it. So that's the way we're looking at it. Is he got what he wanted.
It's all the COVID thing. It is, but it's also political.
It is.
A lot of it is political, and there are so many fanatical people out there with politics. I'm not political. I'm not. I mean, and I've seen people unfriend people because of their political views and their opinions, and it's absolutely sad. Especially when people have been friends for so long. And you could have a friend for 20 years, and because you don't agree with their political opinions or anything else, then you're just going to drop them. Like, oh, I don't want to hear it. Bye. It's like, that is like, what the hell?
Yeah. I agree. I mean, if I don't like something I see, I just move on.
Yeah.
The
posts, when people are posting stuff and then other people have opinions about it, that's the thing. That's the same thing with me. If I see a political post, I just scroll right by. I don't entertain it. I don't comment, because it's just, oh my gosh, it's like freaking fanatical big time.
The way I feel about it is people are allowed to have their opinions, whether I agree with their opinion or not.
Absolutely.
And if I don't like it, I just don't say anything, and I move on. And if they keep saying stuff like that, I just unfollow them so I don't see it. And now they've added a few things in there. We can unfollow them for 30 days. But again, they don't know that you've unfollowed them.
Mm-hmm.
Until they ask you something. Hey, did you see this post? And you go, nope, didn't see it.
Yeah, I do that. I do, like, it sucks sometimes, because sometimes I'll see like just very depressing and negative posts from people that I know, and I'd have to unfollow them because it affects me. And it puts me in the worst slump. My anxiety just triggers, and I get sad. I feel emotion so deeply. I feel others' emotions. Even if I don't know these people and I see their posts about their sadness or anything, I feel it, and it just brings me down. So I unfollow, so it doesn't pop up on my news feed.
Right. I mean,
I don't want to see it.
Well, I understand that, because you're an empath. Yeah. So it makes it really hard. I mean, if I see something from certain people, if I've met you personally and I see a post, I am immediately invested. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter if I liked you when I met you or not, but I'm immediately invested. And I feel like I've got to pray for them, or whatever it is that they want. If they want me to send positive thoughts, I'll send positive thoughts. But, I feel like I'm immediately invested because I am somewhat empathic. I don't feel everybody's pain. Thank God. There's no way. There's no way I could deal with that.
I do. And it's a curse for me. It is.
It's just too much. So, like I said, once I've talked to someone and get to know them, there have been times where we've passed messages back and forth because you said something and it was because somebody had been really rude, or it hurt your feelings, and you could tell when you were reading it. And I would send you something and just go, "Is everything okay?" And then you would tell me what's going on, and lo and behold, we're in 10 minutes we're done. But I feel like I have a connection to you. And we were supposed to actually meet this past weekend.
Yes, we were.
Down here in Conway, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And in your mind, you're probably going, it's Little Rock, but no, it was a little bit north of there.
Yeah.
In Conway. And my husband and I met in Arkansas. Not that part.
Yeah.
The awful part that floods really bad. But yeah, so we have a connection to Arkansas, and we were going to go down there for that. And it was the first time somebody had asked me to speak at an event. And I was like, well, I want to go.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that you were going to be there, I was like, oh, that would be fun. I get to meet her. And when I saw that when they did their poster, I had to laugh. I said, why do they have me above Daniel Class? They should have me down on the bottom somewhere. I've never done any, and they told me it was because I'm local and people know who I am in the Midwest. So they were trying to draw those people that are close by. And I was like, okay, well, that makes a little bit more sense. But still, I didn't think that I should have been above Daniel Class, So
it's just a poster.
I know, but it made me laugh.
Yeah.
because most of the posters that you see, it shows all the big pictures for the bigger names, and then smaller pictures for lesser known, and then teeny tiny pictures for those that nobody knows who in the heck they are, but they're getting their name out there.
Oh,
I thought I'd be in one of those little bitty pictures that nobody knows who I am, but here we go.
I think everyone should be treated the same, really.
Well, yes and no.
I do. I mean, I think if you put a poster, I don't think it doesn't matter. If I was last on a poster, man, I'd be so happy. I mean, I don't care,
That's how I was. If I was last, I'd have been just as happy with that too.
Oh, yeah.
So in my case, I was just excited to be asked, and it is what it is. I just thought it would be a fun time, because maybe someday I won't live in the middle of the country where I can get to stuff as fast.
Yeah, it would have been a really cool event. I was actually looking forward to it.
The one last year that they did was really interesting. Back in the 80s, early 80s, when I first moved to Arkansas, Dog Patch USA was a big deal. It was on all the Arkansas brochures. I mean, the very front of it. It was brand new amusement park. Everybody talked about it. It was great. And that's where their event was last year. But it was scary there because there were animals, uncontrolled animals, spiders. There were spiders really big, and it was cold. And it was cold for May. Because it was raining and stuff. I had hot hands, and people were laughing at me for bringing hot hands in May. Guess who all wanted my hot hands after a few hours?
So there was a lot of spiders.
Yeah, there was a lot of spiders. Now at the Fee House, I don't know anything about it other than I know that it's an actual house.
Yeah.
Unlike, the squatters that were living in the old amusement park buildings down there in Dog Patch, which was weird. You see this weird building that looks like a giant rock and somebody's living in it. I'm like, okay.
That's funny.
Funny and scary too, because you don't know who these people are. And of course it was way out in the boonies on twisty turny roads, but there was a crystal place just up the road from there where you could go and dig your own crystals and go into a crystal mine.
Oh my gosh, I've seen some of those stones and crystals that you can get in Arkansas. Oh my gosh, amethyst and
yep, there's like 4 or 5 different places. We were talking to David Glidden last week, and he goes down to Mina to the crystal camp there. And he goes, you guys got to come with me to go camp. And I said, well, as soon as you invite us, we'll be there. So give me a date and I'll go. It will. They used it when they filmed Into the Light 2. So if you ever want to see the place, it was pretty interesting. And they've spoken, the people who own Crystal Camp spoke at the Kansas City Paracon last year. And they were supposed to speak at it this year, but Kansas City's got some hellacious rules. And so even with social distancing, you can't do it. So it's kind of weird how, I mean, I live just south of Kansas City, we don't have any restrictions
Yeah.
where we live, but we're rural. When you're rural, it's totally different than when you're not. We haven't, me personally, I haven't had any issues with any of the stuff going on other than some friends passing.
Jeez. It's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, I know. And you've been traveling. Have you been traveling by plane or by car or?
Plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a heck of a drive, though. I mean,
Yeah, I rather have drove because then I'm like really social distancing myself. But no, the plane. I mean, the plane was filled from Phoenix to Charlotte, and I mean, there was like nobody in the middle seat with me, and then there was a person by the window. But I mean, it was still too close for comfort.
right. Everybody had to walk past you.
Yeah, and then my friends, the ones that my friend T and Jose, they came up with me. We worked together. We're in Jefferson to ship out this huge order, this truck order, and they were sitting in the back, and they had people next to them, all three seats filled, and I was like, oh my, I was like, this is not practicing social distancing. I mean, on
So
the plane.
so they overbooked the plane.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was probably, I was kind of up, I was like in row 11, I think I was, and they were in the back in the 20. And it's like everybody went to the back. And I was like, oh, good Lord, those poor people. And my friend's texting me. She's like, is anyone sitting with you? And I'm like, well, yeah, but then it would have been uncomfortable for all three of us because this person that we don't know was sitting, right there and actually was coughing and, sniffling. And thank God I had the aisle seat because I was like leaning over like,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just kept moving your feet in every time they come by with the cart.
Oh, I fell asleep with my earphones on, and the girl touched me, like tapped me, and I woke up, well, I couldn't see her, but I felt her touch me, and I'm like, oh, like that. And I looked at her and she goes, I have to go potty. And I'm like, okay. So I got up real quick and I twisted my knee.
Oh no.
That hurt.
I bet.
And I hollered. I mean, everyone on the plane heard it. But yeah, my knee's kind of hurting, but that woman kept getting up and down, going to the bathroom. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
Well, and how long of a flight is that?
It was like 2 hours from Reno to Phoenix. Then Phoenix to Charlotte was, I think, 4 hours and 45 minutes. So probably a little over 6 hours flight total.
Wow.
Yeah. The Phoenix one was fine. Because it was a smaller plane. There was less people. I mean, there were seats that weren't even filled. But this American airline flight from Phoenix to Charlotte was like packed. I was like, oh my God.
Did they have partitions in between the seats? Partitions?
No.
So they're wanting to partition you in the casino.
Yeah.
But, well, we had an issue. We went to the casino here, and they told everybody you have to wear masks. Well, the thing is the smokers, the mask was down around their neck, and they're just smoking. And it's like, well, didn't they say that it's the particles from your mouth and your nose spreading? I said, this is bad. We got to leave.
Yeah.
Because my husband and I, we're non-smokers, so we had our masks on, and the only time we could take ours, lift ours up or down was when we got a drink. And it's like, I don't even know if I want, it is.
I've been around because I quit the tobacco use stuff in February.
Right.
So,
Well, you know what? We're going to talk a little bit more about some paranormal stuff when we come back. But you know what, everybody? You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
Listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting. You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
The time is 23 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my guest tonight is Michelle LeBaron. She is considered a ghost magnet, and I'm going to have her tell you why. Why are you a ghost magnet?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think a lot of people are ghost magnets, but that's just a name that was given to me by friends. Because every time I'll go out with some people and investigate, a lot of like weird happenings happen for them, and a lot of evidence is captured when I'm around. And they would say, "Oh my gosh, Miss, you're such a ghost magnet." And then that's when, that's how come my nickname is the Ghost Magnet, because I guess that's what. It was given to me by friends, and it's just stuck with me. So,
well, at least they noticed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they don't.
Huh?
A lot of times people don't notice that paranormal activity goes up when certain people are around.
Yeah, I think, when the people that I'm with, though, I think it's more of a vibe, and we all feel each other's energy. And, if there's someone like I don't know and I don't like their vibe, it's negative, we don't get much. I just think it's got to be the people you surround yourself with. It makes it happen, because the energy is amazing and the spirits love it and they feed it and they thrive on it. And that's how they show themselves and talk to you.
Have you ever been to a paranormal location where everything that happened was negative?
Not really negative, more chaotic.
Okay.
It's like chaos. I've really it's never been like anything happy when I investigate. I can't tell you that it's like a wonderful, pleasant investigation. It's just I don't know. It's chaos sometimes. Which is at the Washoe Club. I've had chaos, like things just happening all at once, and noises and sounds, and then there's good energy and bad energy, and it's all energy, all of it.
The Washoe Club is on my husband's list.
It's an amazing building. That place does not disappoint. I mean, I've probably investigated that place over 30 times. That's how much I love it. I've gotten some of my best evidence there. Well, I don't like calling it evidence. I like calling it possible paranormal evidence, because then, I don't know what, some people ask me, well, how do you know that that's not a lens flare? Or, so I call it possible, because you get a lot of people that like to poo-poo that stuff. So
well, for most people, if they weren't there, if they didn't witness it personally, then that's your evidence, but not necessarily anything that proves anything to anyone else. So I understand that, because I know I yell at the TV a lot. It's like football here when I'm watching a paranormal show. It's like,
it's a light anomaly. No, it's not. It's a piece of dust.
Yes. Or it's lining up on, your SLS is lining up on a line, and it's making that person making it look like there's a stick figure there because you got a line.
It's false positives. Sometimes those SLS cameras capture structures like walls or ends of walls or banisters on stairwells or chairs. It's false positives. I actually, I don't use the SLS very much. I have one, and I actually used it at a new location that Reap Investigations and Brentwood Ghost Tours will be doing an event, and it's going to be an intimate, small event. But I captured two people dancing on the balcony. And as I raised the connect and the camera, and you can see it on my camera, there's nothing to capture a false positive. There's no banister or anything. There was an umbrella, but if it's just one umbrella, it's not going to pop up two figures. I mean, they physically look like they're Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk and pop locking. It's pretty amazing. But I have tested out SLS cameras, and I have seen that they sometimes give a false positive. If you go up a flight of stairs, it'll capture the sides of the walls, and it'll make stick figures.
Yeah.
So
I've seen it do it with curtains, where there's a pleat and a curtain.
Yeah.
Door jamb, the chairs, like you said, paneling, anything that has a line. If it picks up that it's different, and it does that, and it's like, okay,
I mean, some people enjoy using it, and they feel like they get evidence that, okay, that's their thing. I don't ever poo-poo anybody's stuff. I don't go on there and say, that's a bug or a piece of dust, or, I don't do that, because
I do on TV.
I'm not there in the moment. I'm not in their moment. They see a light anomaly, and it shows up on their camera, and thinking maybe it's a relative, like, oh my God, my mom, is this my mom? maybe it is. To them, they think it is. Let them believe it. I mean, you don't want to give someone like there's no hope for them,
Right.
where they're going to go in the afterlife. I mean, I know it exists. I know the afterlife exists. There's just way too much that I have seen and felt and captured and have heard to not believe it.
I
You
agree.
know,
I believe that there's something there out there
there
that
is.
we are not going to know for sure exists until after we pass.
Yeah, I think we're in hell. This is hell, and then when we die, we go to the light. That's just what I feel.
I just wonder if we're actually in purgatory,
We could be,
paying our dues so that we can go to a better place.
yeah.
But our reality is that we don't know for sure where we
Uh,
are. So we try to enjoy what we can.
yeah.
That's what we can do. So while you're
Yeah.
out in North Carolina, are you going to be doing any investigating while you're out there?
Actually, the free time that I do have. I actually Saturday, I got off work. So I'm working 6 days a week, 10-hour shifts. So I'm really exhausted when I get home or get to my hotel. But Saturday, I was with a friend of mine. She's a friend from Reno. She moved to North Carolina, which was really cool because we met up and we both did some investigations. We met up with a woman that has a really cute little mystical shop called the Southern. What is it called? Oh my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. Oh boy, I forgot the name of it. But anyways, the Southern Gothic. There we go. The Southern Gothic shop. She has a lot of witchy stuff, crystals, jewelry, and then she has this. It's an old building. Jefferson's very old,
Mm-hmm.
and we got to go in the back area where she's making an escape room, sort of thing, kind of like a haunted little tour thing. And she says she hasn't really much felt anything there, but Jen and I, when we were up there, we felt some energy up there. And Jen felt a woman, possibly from the 20s, that had taken her life by drinking poison.
Mm.
But we ended up investigating, and what actually came through, I believe, was Zia. That's her name. She's the owner of the shop. She asked for her cousin who had passed, and it's a male. And we got it's live. It's on my page right now. We investigated it. We actually got this is really bad, a fart, like a like that. And it wasn't me, and it wasn't Jen, and it wasn't Zia, because I would have went tag, you know. We got a laugh, like a long laugh, a man's laugh. And we captured some other things. And I went into the shop because I heard noises in there. And we had a ball in another room, and Jen captured on her full spectrum camera the ball rolling, coming down. It was rolling in the room, and it rolled towards her, and she captured that on film, which is really cool. We didn't capture it on live because the camera wasn't pointed that way, but her camera was, which is really cool. But yeah, we did that. And then Sunday, I stayed home all day and took a nap. All my coworkers went and did a road trip. And then they came back and said, "Hey, Mesh, let's go have dinner. Let's go do some seafood." So I'm like, okay. So we drove like 20 miles from Jefferson and went and had some seafood. And on our way back, we stopped. Every time we would go, we'd find like an old abandoned house. And I got to take some photos. I didn't go in them because they didn't look too safe. But they were amazing. And I will be posting those photos too. So.
Well, you got to be careful in the South because posted means you can be shot.
Oh yeah, no. I
No, I
won't do
mean,
that.
yeah, it's my family is actually from Virginia and West Virginia. So, and you're not really that far from anything there. If you're looking for other parts of North Carolina, Asheville's about 2 hours away, but you're in moonshine country.
Yeah, there was a really, really old house looking shack thing up in the hills. But I stood right by the fence. I did not go past the fence. It was on the side of the road, and I took some photos. I don't trespass. So
No, none of us do. At least not knowingly.
Yeah.
Maybe when we were younger. I mean, I have said, yes, I did trespass when I was 12. Probably until I was about 15. But I mean, I even have a story to go with the one trespassing. This one was funny. I climbed over the fence at Martin Marietta, and they were filming Dog Day Afternoon. Okay. I know it's aging me. And I got yelled at by Al Pacino.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But again, I did not realize that Martin Marietta was actually one of those military installation type buildings that you shouldn't be going onto their property. You can be shot. And it was just right across the creek from our school. So it was like, I had no clue, and I admitted a few weeks ago to sneaking into the Edgar Allan Poe house in Baltimore.
Oh boy.
When I was 12 as well. I was an unruly kid. I mean, I actually lived quite a distance from there, and I still got in there. But it's weird. But I don't know if you've ever been to Maryland, but it is an unusual place to get to check out. So if you ever get to go back there to go to like the Lord Baltimore Hotel, or because I know that Bill does investigations there. Yeah. I'd only ever been in their lobby because it was too fancy of a hotel when I was growing up to take a kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go into places. I mean, I've been in places. If I don't see, if I feel that it's dangerous, and I'm pretty smart. I'm not going to do anything stupid. I mean, if I see a building that's abandoned, I'll kind of like peek in and take some photos. There's been places over in Reno that I've been to, but I was gaining access to one place, but there is no private property, no trespassing signs, which, because it's it's been sitting there. They won't tear it down. But yeah, I've been in buildings as long as they don't have no trespassing on them. If they have no trespassing, I stay the hell away. I'm like, nope.
Have you ever investigated any cemeteries?
I do, and I've captured some really cool stuff. I was in a Jewish cemetery actually in Reno, and I was sitting on the grass next to the stone. And it was nighttime. The grass was plush. It was a beautiful scene. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, who's here with me? And I got on the voice recorder a female saying, "We lay here." And I was like, wow. And a lot of people say, oh, cemeteries, you can't catch nothing in cemeteries. I'll tell you what, if I was buried in a cemetery, I'd probably want to go, visit, seeing how my grave looks, maybe see some family members possibly visiting me. There's spirit everywhere. I've walked in Walmart and stuff is flew off the shelves.
Oh yeah.
So, they're everywhere. Why did you ask? Why do you ask?
So, yeah, I've had the same thing happen at Walmart. The stuff flies off the shelves sometimes when I walk down an aisle, and
oh yeah.
And it's strange when somebody else walks into the aisle and they see it and they're like, "Aren't you going to pick that up?" And I was like, "I didn't do it."
Yeah. Well, I was in there with my mom, and my mom knows because it's in my family, the whole metaphysical everything. And we walked by, and this it's like a cart with Lego blocks in it. The kids can pull it. Well, it was up on the second shelf, and I was looking at this toys because I love toys. I'm a big kid. I collect toys. And the thing just flew off, and the Legos went everywhere. And my mom looked at me, and she goes, "Okay." And I'm like, "Okay." I went and picked it up. I've had bread flown off the thing. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm happy when it's bread because bread doesn't usually make a big sound.
Yeah.
But it's in the canned food aisle that you're going there going, do you have to now?
Yeah.
So
I feel you. How
So-
come you asked if I investigated graveyards?
because I know that there are some really unusual graveyards in Nevada.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
been to the one in Good Springs. We've been in the one in Tonopah. We've been to the one in Goldfield.
Uh-huh.
We've only gotten as far north as Tonopah. And mostly because once you get so far, you got to go to Tonopah because you got to get gas to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kids actually live in Vegas. So when we drive out there, we don't go much further than Vegas because we've driven, 1,400 miles already. We're not going to drive the extra, 4 hours, 5 hours to get to Goldfield and Tonopah. Now, if we fly, there's a chance that we are. There's been times where we drove up to Tonopah about 4 years ago, and this poor lady had a flat, and we happened to be in Goldfield, and this guy who was fixing her tire, he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "out here," he goes, "we're the AAA." So he gets, and he's there right behind the old bank, about 2 blocks away from the Goldfield Hotel.
Yeah.
And there's a little building there that used to be the telegraph office. And he owned that building that had the telegraph office in it. And it's still set up like it would have been like 1910.
Yeah.
And he goes, you can go in. I was like, "Oh, thank you." So I got my husband and my daughter, and we went in and took pictures and got to check this place out while he was changing the tire. But, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to, in that area, you're not going to show up when people are there because there aren't any people really there. But yeah, we did check out a few things. But you know what? We're going to talk about Goldfield when we come back. You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
You're listening to WBHM, Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore. My guest tonight is Michelle LeBaron. And when we left off, we were going to start talking about Goldfield and Tonopah area. If you guys don't know where that is, it's in Nevada. It's on a very desolate highway. There's no gas station for a couple, 90 miles or so. Very interesting drive, actually. One of the most dangerous highways in the state. So we've done it enough times. We almost hit a donkey one night coming back.
Aww.
Well, after Beatty. After Beatty, you're in Area 51 territory.
Yeah.
And they had when my daughter got married, the day after we she was on her honeymoon, so we left and we went on up to Tonopah. It was snowing. There was a windstorm, so there was also a dust storm, and the NASCAR race was going on. So we really didn't plan on staying in Vegas.
Yeah.
And like I said, and by the time you get up, over 7,000 feet, there was snow everywhere, and it was really cold. And even for us that's used to the cold where we live in the wintertime, and we get up to Tonopah, and I'm walking around the cemetery, and I'm taking pictures and chattering. I mean, my teeth were chattering really hard because we didn't bring a coat because we had flown. Why would you bring a coat when you're flying and you're going to Vegas? You wouldn't think that it would be cold in March. And even though I know better now, so
I've seen it snow real heavy in March.
Oh yeah, me too. At this point, but I mean, so we go and we're up there and we're going. Oh, I don't know where we're gonna. We're gonna eat at Burger King. Where else are we gonna eat? It's Sunday night, huh? Maybe we should just go back to Vegas. So we went back to Vegas that night. It was so dark on that road. I happened to look. I was looking, and there was a donkey that might have been 6 or 7 inches from the car.
Aww.
And we didn't hit it. But, since then, though, one of the big gas stations out there, they had a natural gas explosion caught on fire right across the street from the cat house.
Oh.
Out there, the alien cat house was across the road. And it's sad that I know where the alien cat house is, but how can you miss it? It says Area 51 convenience store. It's very convenient.
Yeah.
So, but
very.
But we
Especially
see
for truckers.
Yeah, it does have a very large parking lot.
Oh my goodness.
It does have a clean restroom.
Oh well, that's a bonus.
But it is fun walking through the store and seeing all the different things that they have that's alien themed.
I'll have to go there.
Well, when you're driving down 95, pretty easy to see it all. But it's just been it's been interesting going up to Goldfield and Tonopah, and I really enjoy the Mitzpah Hotel.
Yeah, I love that hotel.
I just happened to walk up to the desk one of the times that we were there, and I asked the lady if it was okay if we walked around. I said, we're not looking to check in. I said, we just would like to look around. And she goes, well, would you like somebody to come and get, she goes, we'll bring down the main housekeeper. She can give you a tour and tell you about all the haunted places. I was like, okay.
Bonus.
Yeah, that's what I said. And, people ask me about the Clown Motel. Is it really haunted? I go, no, the Clown Motel is not haunted. It's just stupid looking to me.
Yeah, it's not haunted.
The graveyard, on the other hand, is interesting.
People don't like clowns, and it just freaks them out.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I love clowns.
I don't have a problem with it. I think that they could do their makeup a little nicer, but it is what it is. But we really enjoy the historic parts of Tonopah and the history in the graveyard there, because in the graveyard it actually there are stories in the Tonopah graveyard. All you have to do is read.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much is there. Like when you take pictures and you're going, why is there all this, there's all these stones and then there's broken glass in there. I said, it's just add color.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of neat to see the difference in those old graveyards compared to the graveyards here in Kansas or back on the East Coast, or even some of the ones up in, Washington State and California. You've been to so many different ones.
It's very, I've been to many cemeteries and many graveyards, and, in different states, and really a lot of them are different than others. I mean, the Nevada one, most of them is filled with sagebrush and tan dirt because it's high desert. And it's very Western looking. Most of the cemeteries, you've got like wooden slats instead of, the marble or, headstones. They're just, it looks like a Western movie graveyard, most of them. So.
Yeah. Some of them I saw had tin and did tin punch, which to put all the names on there, and they tell you how they died. I mean, actually says on there, heart attack, mind collapse, things like that. It just made it all the more interesting.
I've seen one in Tonopah. Some guy choked on a chicken bone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not too far from where the steps come down from the Clown Motel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Really? Holy moly.
It was just his time to go, I guess.
Yeah.
But when you've been down to Goldfield, I knew that you had investigated at least one time at the Goldfield Hotel. And I know for a lot of people, that is a location that's on their bucket list. I don't know if it's because Ghost Adventures went there or the different people that have gone and they've shared their pictures, which I've shared all my pictures of everything Goldfield, the high school, the graveyard, outside of the building. I've never been able to get into the building at the hotel. And I know you've investigated there.
Yeah, it is active. And I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I don't know how much time I have.
You have at least 8 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, 7.
I did go in with a group of friends, and I did capture an unexplained anomaly. It looked like part human, part light. And that's in my presentation. Hopefully, I think I'll be on a show on Wednesday, and they'll be showing some of my paranormal evidence. And I think that one's in it. But I actually always told myself I'll never get attached. I became attached in that place. And I was downstairs in the basement area. And the spirits there weren't very happy at the time because they're reconstructing everything. They're making it into a brand new hotel. They're tearing down walls. They're putting new walls up, all that stuff. They're changing everything. So they're not very happy. But I was attached, and I didn't remember almost the whole type of the attachment that I had. I was downstairs in the basement with my friends, and this is what they told me that happened. My friend felt something tap her on the head, and she looked up, and there was like this light fixture, but it was way too high for it to hit her head. She's like, whoa. And I guess we were doing an EVP session, and I slumped down and sat on the floor, had my head down. And my friend Sierra's like, Mish, are you okay? And I wouldn't talk to her, and I had my head down. And we actually, this is what happened before that happened. I'm trying to hurry. We played the EVP recorder back, and it said, a man's voice came through, and it said, I'm going to get her, like that. So I'm sitting on the floor. My head is tilt downward, and my friends all, Mish. And I turned my head really slow and I look at her, and my face was like pale white. Veins were popping out of my face. My eyes were black. And she said she's never been so scared in her whole life. She said that I didn't look like myself, and that I looked like I wanted to kill her.
Oh, no.
And so I got up and I rushed down the hall and they were doing the EVP session. And I walked over and I grabbed my K2 meter off the floor and I took off. And then I went downstairs. This is what everyone's telling me. And I flung open the door, the front door of the Goldfield. And I went outside, and a friend of mine came out there and talked to me. And I guess I said some pretty fucking, bad things. Beep. I said some really, really, really bad things, and I wasn't aware of it. And so then rumors came about saying that I pretend I was attached because I wasn't able to use my spirit box. I had my spirit box on. It was too loud. I made the decision to turn it off out of respect for everybody else. And I wasn't upset about it. And they thought that's why I pretended that I was attached to get attention. And it's like, whatever, and now I'm not friends with these people because of the lies and the stuff that they said. I had proof from my friends, my best friend and my other good friend who saw me and what happened. They were there. These people were not. So, but that's how it is. But I did get attached in that building, and it was a nasty attachment. Nasty. So,
do you think that since you got a nasty attachment, do you think that there's something very dark in that building?
There was at the time, but every time I've been there, I never felt it. But I think with everybody at that point too, everyone was at each other's throats. There was nothing but negativity. Everyone was yelling at each other. Everybody was saying, "I'm leaving." And I'm just like, whoa, it was bad. You've got to make sure when you're going into a haunted location that you go in with people that you vibe with and they have good intentions for you and for others, and they're good people. Plain and simple. I won't go anywhere in a building with someone I don't know and I don't vibe with. That's just how I roll now. So
would you suggest protection for people that are going out investigating?
Every time, anytime and every time. Doesn't matter when, where you're at, you do it. Ground yourself, shield yourself, pray. If you pray, always have protection. Never go in not guarded. So
I can see that. Do you have a suggestion on the best way to protect yourself?
I pull the light from the ground up and I cover my body. I also use different types of crystals, black tourmaline to keep away negativity. I'll keep a stone in my pocket. I have a regular quartz crystal necklace that I wear for protection. It's all faith too. You just, I'm protected. I'm protected by God. I'm protected by my goddess. I'm protected by the light. That it's you got to just have faith that you will be protected when you do it. And usually it works.
Well, you know what? We are at our next break. This is going to be the long news break. So everyone, you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We will be back with Michelle in just after the break. If you have any questions for Michelle, please put them in the chats and I will make sure I ask them. I do see the questions out there and they will be asked after the break. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourself, and we'll talk to you in just a few.
Live from NPR News, I'm Jack Speer. 2 experimental coronavirus vaccines are entering an advanced phase of testing. As NPR's Joe Palca reports, the goal of the latest trials is to determine if the vaccines actually prevent the disease.
One vaccine comes from a collaboration between the National Institutes of Health and the U.S. biotech company Moderna, the other between the pharmaceutical giant Pfizer and the German company BioNTech. Both are so-called mRNA vaccines, an approach that involves vaccinating people with snippets of genetic material that can stimulate an immune response. Both vaccines have undergone preliminary safety testing in people. Now the idea is to show they actually work to prevent people from getting sick. Researchers say each vaccine will have to recruit as many as 30,000 volunteers to show that. Joe Palca, NPR News.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is calling on Republicans and the White House to negotiate with Democrats in terms of the next coronavirus relief package. Pelosi saying that time is running out because federal unemployment assistance and an eviction moratorium expire at the end of this week. Republicans, meanwhile, introduced their proposal dubbed the HEALS Act. It would significantly reduce the $600 a week many out-of-work Americans are getting on top of state benefits. The GOP plan would focus on getting children back to school, Americans back to work, and protecting companies from lawsuits. It would also include another $1,200 stimulus check. As the nation continues to mourn the late Congressman John Lewis, Emma Hurt from member station WABE in Atlanta reports Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has scheduled the election to decide who will fill out the rest of Lewis's term.
The special election is set for September 29th, but unless the person who wins that special election is State Senator Nikema Williams, they will not be eligible to serve past January. That's because Williams is the Democratic nominee on the November ballot. The state Democratic Party chose her as the replacement nominee for Lewis last week. If the September special election race is close, there will be a December runoff, which means the people of the 5th District could be without a representative for months. Lewis was reelected 16 times to the seat with overwhelming majorities. His funeral will take place in Atlanta Thursday morning. For NPR News, I'm Emma Hurt in Atlanta.
Maine Senator Susan Collins has become the second Republican to come out against the nomination of Judy Shelton, President Donald Trump's latest pick to join the powerful Federal Reserve Board. Shelton has openly called for the Fed to be less independent in the political branches and has even questioned the need for a central bank. Senator Mitt Romney of Utah has also said he'll oppose Shelton's nomination. Shelton's nomination was approved by a narrow vote in the Senate Banking Committee last week along party lines. Her nomination now faces a full Senate vote. Stocks resumed their upward rise today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 114 points. The Nasdaq was up 173 points. The S&P rose 23 points today. You're listening to NPR. A senior National Guard officer is challenging the narrative of the Trump White House, saying police began the violent clearing of protesters from Washington's Lafayette Square last month without apparent provocation or adequate warning. Army National Guard Commander Adam DeMarco's account challenges a key aspect of the Trump administration's explanation for the clearing of the protesters. Just before President Trump walked along the area to St. John's Church for a photo op holding a Bible. The Trump administration has said attacks by protesters warranted the use of force. DeMarco says the protest appeared peaceful. Belgium's coronavirus infection rate has risen dramatically, prompting the government there to enact strict limits on social contacts for at least the next month. From Brussels, Terry Schultz explains the Prime Minister says she's trying to avoid another complete lockdown.
Belgian Prime Minister Sophie Wilmès says she's very concerned about the rise in infections, particularly in Antwerp, Belgium's largest city, where the number of coronavirus cases surged 520% last week. After a meeting of the National Security Council, Wilmès announced residents may no longer have contact with 15 different people per week. Starting Wednesday, she says, each person may see only 5 other people outside their household for the next 4 weeks. Private events, including weddings and funerals, may have 10 attendees. Grocery shopping must be done alone in 30 minutes or less. If the rules are not obeyed, Wilmès says, previous lockdown measures, including store closings and home confinement, may come back. For NPR News, I'm Terry Schultz in Brussels.
Oil prices closed higher, up 31 cents a barrel to $41.60. I'm Jack Speer, NPR.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 5 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my guest tonight is Michelle LeBaron. And I'm going to wait to ask Ron's question because he's not in here to hear it. So I'm going to ask Gary's question. Gary asks, do you use Echo Box or dowsing rods?
I actually use the Echo Box, and I do use dowsing rods. I use them both. I use a lot of different types of methods. I use, like I've said, I use the older methods, the newer methods, the old school, new school, technical, all that stuff. So I pretty much use it all. I use the applications, the ITC applications, spirit boxes. Yeah, I do.
What is your favorite spirit box type equipment?
I actually was given the Wonder Box from a wonderful friend of mine that decided to go into real estate, and she didn't want it. So she said, if anyone in the field deserves it, it's you, Mish. And she gave it to me, and I just bawled. I cried. And actually, I've gotten some pretty amazing stuff on that. I mean, the Wonder Box is pretty much a glorified amplifier with guitar pedals, with copper wires and crystals. The ITC applications that I like to use, the best is Spiritus. If you go on my paranormal page, you'll see that I was using the Spiritus application on my Wonder Box, and the spirit, a female, came through and said my full name, Michelle LeBaron, and I about freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, like that. And I said, thank you so much. I said, can you say my name again? Please say it again. And she said it twice. She goes, Michelle LeBaron, right after I asked her. So that was like an amazing, special moment for me. The Spiritus is amazing application. And the Chill Seekers makes that. And I believe you can buy that on iPhone and Android.
Yep. Have you used Necrophonic at all?
Yes, I have that.
Because I think it's made by the same people.
Yes. And I've gotten, actually, I do TikToks. And I posted one of my videos. I was at a place called the Truckee Meadows Murder House, Truckee River Murder House in Reno. That's what they call it. It wasn't someone murdered there. It's just some, folklore thingy. But it said my name. It goes, Mish, 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 like that. Right when I turned it on. And I posted that, and I got over like 90,000 views on that video.
Well, when you deserve it, when it says something amazing comes out that can't possibly be built in.
Yeah, no, because I don't know them. And usually when I use these applications, I don't use anything with email or my personal information, because LeBaron is my maiden name. I'm not known as Michelle LeBaron. I'm known as Michelle LeBaron in the field, but I have a different name that I use. And no, there's no way that, because people are like, oh, it must have been stored in your tablet. No, it isn't, because there's nothing in my tablet that says my name. And I don't use Facebook. I don't use Messenger. I don't use any type of social media on that tablet. It's strictly nothing but applications.
Just like mine. If it says the name Denise, it's not in there anywhere. But and my first name is something totally and utterly different that nobody, unless you know me well, you don't know that I don't go by my first name.
Yep.
I go by my middle name. And it's not any secret what it is. It's just all my, everything I do is LD. and it doesn't have my full name in it because I keep that tablet separate from everything. It doesn't have internet. It only has Wi-Fi at home.
Yep, that's what I got.
So needless to say, it doesn't triangulate well when it's always has location off.
It just makes me laugh. Oh, it's you got it off your yeah, okay, I'll show you. I have proof, that there's nothing that states Michelle LeBaron on any piece of my equipment except for my social media on my phone or on my computer. That's it.
And that's that's like I said, that's how we are. I'm very particular since I know how code is written.
Yes.
I look for stuff to see what's built in. And if there are words built in, then I go, this is crap.
Yeah, and then you got the chill seekers. They don't know me. I mean, personally, they didn't know me 4 years ago when they made it. I mean, why would they put Michelle LeBaron in it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I love it when it does that all the time. It makes me happy.
Yeah. It's always interesting when your name comes up.
Yep.
Especially when it's more than one syllable.
Yep.
So
it's exciting.
It is. And so now I'm going to ask you Ron's question. Ron asks, why would things fall off the shelves when you walk down the aisle?
Probably maybe the spirit knows that I know that they're there, or to get my attention because they know who I am. They see my light. They're like, oh, she's a person that likes to communicate and talk and see spirits. So they do stuff like that to get my attention.
The bad part is when they do it at Walmart, they don't realize we can't pay attention.
Yeah.
Because the people are watching us over the cameras, and they're going to go, this woman's nuts.
Yeah.
Whether we are or not, remains to be seen. But,
I love who I am.
So do I. I like who you are too, and I just don't want the attention when I'm at Walmart. I'm busy. I'm doing stuff. Not now.
Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah. What has been the strangest place that you have had paranormal activity that you didn't expect?
The strangest place.
Well, it would be strange to you because you weren't expecting it, but you know what I mean.
Geez, in a hotel room, it's actually not a strange thing because usually, I was in a room with my friends and, we were looking out the window and I had spiritists going. And, actually we're sitting there and we turned it on just for hell, just for giggles, and it goes, go to the window. We're like, okay. So we go to the window. And then my friend goes, who am I? And it goes, Lisa. And I go, who am I? And it goes, Michelle. And we're like, oh my God. And then we're thinking, most people, when they commit suicide, a lot of people do them in hotels. They'll go away and get a room and do their thing. There's a lot of deaths in hotels and motels. So yeah, I've had, even when I got in this room, weird noises at night, things being moved. I've woken up a couple times. Last night I woke up at 12, 1, 2, and 3 on the dot. Boom, 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 boom. And I've never done that before. So yeah, I mean, this town that I'm in right now, it's like one of the most haunted counties in North Carolina. So
it is. It does have a huge history of paranormal, as well as there's a lot of murders in that county that have been unsolved. And based on my family history, I'm going to go with it was probably family, not my family, but family. And there's a lot of things to be said about that area. Like I said, I know that there's a lot of moonshiners also in that county.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know a little bit more than I probably should.
Well, we
But-
were driving down a country road and bam, smelt marijuana. And I'm thinking, well, it's pretty plush out here. You know?
Well, there is a lot of places that you could hide it out there from, at least from the road, but not from the air.
Yeah.
So, I was looking at the map of where you're actually at, and it's almost straight south of Withville, depending upon how you say it. My mom always goes, it's Withville. It's Withville. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, I don't. She goes, you're too Baltimore. I know, it is what it is, but I just always laugh about all the different places that there is down there that you can go and visit and stuff. And the other thing is the roads. They're all twisty turny, except for the interstates, but they're all twisty turny, and you're making these. I always called them kiss your ass turns.
Yeah,
because you'd come around it and you can see the back side of the car as you're coming around with the front side.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or my mom used to live in Eastern Kentucky, so about probably an hour, no, about 2 hours from where you're at. So it's sad. I know approximately the area very well, but I knew the history because of stuff that people had told me when I would go down there to visit.
It's definitely a different energy. I mean, sometimes to a point where I feel uncomfortable, and I'm not sure. Just the energy feel. I can't explain it. Like in certain areas when I'm walking around, or I'm not like happy. I mean, really, I've been here. I haven't been like my happy self.
Yeah.
Which is very bizarre. So.
Well, it's probably the stress of being, first of all, so far away from home. You're also 3 time zones away from where you're used to, getting used to that. And then there's not always the same. There's no familiar places to eat.
No. Oh, it's just, and it's horrible.
But Bojangles is good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
I went to Bojangles. I didn't like it. I was like, ugh.
Oh,
and it's like everybody likes biscuits here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's biscuit this and biscuit that. I'm all, ugh, I don't like biscuits.
Well, you can also get fried bologna sandwiches down in that area too.
Oh, I'm on it.
Yeah, at the convenience stores. So
actually, I had something really good tonight. There's a place called Oshu, Oshu. It's a new Japanese restaurant here, and I have filet mignon and what is it? Lobster grilled. With shrimp sauce and fried rice, and oh my gosh, it was
was this a hibachi restaurant?
Yes. Oh my gosh,
that's the first place I ever had lobster, was a hibachi restaurant.
Oh, it was so good, so good.
The green tea ice cream is good if they have it.
Oh, I love that. I like eating that after I eat a whole bunch of sushi.
Oh,
kind of helps my tummy.
Yeah. My husband doesn't care for Bojangles either, but when we're by one, I always make him stop.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Well, it's a memory for me.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have Popeyes when I was growing up. We had Bojangles. So when I see one, I go, we have to stop. And the closest one to us is Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, no, I'm not too into it. I mean, I saw a lot of cars there and I was like, oh, I got to try that place. Oh my gosh. And then I was like, the coleslaw was good, but I wasn't really fond of it. There's just so much fried food too.
It is.
Gained like 10 pounds. And I was telling my friend today, I was like, I'm just going to start eating salads for the rest of the week.
They're probably fried too.
Oh God. It's just, everything is fried. I just like, ugh. kind of makes me sick to my stomach a little bit.
And if you get grits, they're covered in butter. So but everyone, we're going to go take our next break. You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We'll be back with Michelle in just a few minutes.
You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Several U.S. presidents are on record talking about the UFO mystery.
Yeah, Presidents Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan both had UFO sightings of their own, but the current presidential campaign might be the first in which UFO disclosure has been championed by a major party candidate.
DIA, CIA, it moves around, is operating a program to train psychic spies to spy and use their powers against Russia. John Ronson writes about this in The Men Who Stare at Goats.
The first known sighting of a ghost took place right after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in the late 1860s during the administration of Ulysses Grant.
Project Paperclip, Clinton releases it all in 1998.
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I say, do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
I don't know what to think. The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial.
It's a place where UFO hunters and scientists gather to examine paranormal activity in the region.
Some of the documents, this is bringing Nazi scientists into the United States to work here. So we fought against the Nazis, and it's not, this again is not a revelation. As early as 1947, 1946, we knew some of this, right?
On the paranormal, will we see U.S. President Barack Obama's foreign policy go intergalactic in a quest for gold stolen by aliens? We'll tell you at least how the White House responded to claims the chief executive has been teleporting to Mars. But let's get to today's Capitol account.
UFOs, hauntings, psychic abilities, conspiracy, ESP, cryptozoology. There are many things that remain unexplained in the inexplicable world around us, and we're talking about them here, looking for answers on WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama. The truth is out there.
Thank you for listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. The time is 23 minutes after the hour.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore. I hope everybody is enjoying Michelle, because I know I am, and I know Kat is. So, okay, we've been talking about some of the places out near where you live, and where are some of the places that you've been that you think everybody should go if they're into the paranormal?
Well, the first thing is Washoe Club for sure. In Virginia City, Nevada, is my most awesome place. I mean, anywhere I've been all over the United States to different haunted locations, but Washoe Club is so near and dear to my heart. I mean, I know the spirits there. They know me. It's an amazing place. It never disappoints. And there is also the Mackey Mansion. I thought, there's the Mackey Mansion. Yeah, I know it's been on shows and everything, but I had to see for myself. And I went with a group from Utah. They invited me, and we were down in the parlor, and we could hear children running up and down the hall laughing. This is like 11 o'clock at night, and we captured that. I also was with my teammate, Lisa Ludwig, and my best friend. We did a REAP Investigations ITC application, which is Children Voice Banks. And we had the docent, the lady that runs the Mackey Mansion, with us. And we didn't know that they're the names of the children that supposedly were there at the time. And we played the application, and my friend Lisa was singing "Ring Around the Rosie," and then after she did that, a young voice came through and said, "Ashes, ashes," like that. And that's on my page too, if you're interested in seeing that. But it was they were communicating with us. And they said that their name was Emma and Peter. And the lady that runs the Mackey Mansions was blown away because that was the name of the children that had died there from an illness.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. We were just there last week with the REAP Investigations team, Nevada and California chapter, and got some amazing things. There was a pink ball out in the hall, and we couldn't find it. And we went into the kids' room, and the ball was on the other side of the bed. And there was no way, because we were all together, and something had to have picked it up, because there was stuff under the bed, so it couldn't have been kicked under the bed. It was physically picked up and brought around and dropped. And so before we went up there to look for the ball, we were doing a session, and they're all, "Would you like to play hide and seek?" So what they were doing, their form of hide and seek, was hiding that ball from us. So when we went upstairs and finally found that ball and went back downstairs, and one of our members, I forgot who said it, but they're like, "Who moved that ball?" And then you had this little girl come out, and she goes, "Nick did it." So there's another child named Nick there, like a little prankster. But it was just absolutely amazing what we captured there. So yeah, that's a pretty cool place. I love the Blair House. I've had some pretty amazing stuff happen there. That's in Blair, Ohio. Vulture City, Wickenburg, Arizona. It's an old mining town, and there's 13 buildings. We got some pretty amazing stuff in the brothel. We were only able to get to 2 buildings when we were at the event last year, and we still didn't get through the 11 that was there. And that place was highly active. And I highly recommend that if you ever hear about the Vulture City Paracon, go to it. You would not be disappointed. It's amazing. Amazing. So those are my top choices that I love.
Well, I've been invited down to Vulture City a few times. It's just it's so far off the road.
Yeah.
You know, I've met the Marie and Jay.
Yeah.
Yep, met them, and they were great guests to have on the show. And Vanessa Hogel is a good friend of mine. She's supposed to be down there this year for their event, and I hope it goes off. You know, I hope they have the event. So, is there any events that you were supposed to speak at this year besides the one we've already talked about that you haven't been able to make because of the virus?
Actually, I am one of the headline speakers for Vulture City. I did it last year, and I was invited back this year. I'm speaking there, and I'm also going to be with the REAP team. And I had an event this August, the 21st. I was supposed to go to Washington, Chalice, Washington, to help fund and restore a museum in Washington. And it was a paranormal event with the REAPs, Bill and Chris, Jay and Marie and myself. But that got canceled. It's in Washington due to COVID. So they had to push that up, I believe, June of next year. So, and other than that, I'm just going to do some investigating with my team, the REAP Investigations West Coast branch, California and Nevada chapter. We're going to do some things, together. I don't think a whole hell of a lot right now because of the COVID until it subsides, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Well, I hope that the Vulture City one goes off since it's a lot of that's outside. Hopefully it will.
Yeah. Arizona's been very picky though, they've got a lot of cases.
Well, New Mexico says that the world's out to get them, so that's right next door.
Yeah.
I remember I was reading something about that, and it's like, well, thank goodness we're not, well, we do plan on staying in New Mexico, but they may not allow us to.
Yeah.
Because we're from Kansas.
I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't go, but if it didn't, there's always next year.
So, yeah, because I know that some of the events that all the events we planned on going to so far this year have been canceled. Of course, my husband's limits me to 2. So, because he doesn't care for the events.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I'm a social person. I've gotten more and more less social since, been working from home since 2007. So I don't see people a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. So all this stuff is not new to me. All the stuff everybody's just learning to live with is normal for me. I don't see people Sunday through Friday, most days. I see people on Saturday and that's it. And we're rural enough to where I don't have to deal with a lot of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
And we do drive everywhere. So we've got a good chance of missing out on a lot of stuff because of that. But only one event that we've been talking about going to, well, I've been talking about going to, my husband's been going, yeah, or whatever. It's been the Van Meter Festival in Van Meter, Iowa. And so, but, it's all outside.
Well, if you do ever get a chance to go to the Vulture City Paracon, I'm going to tell you I've been to many, and I can tell you this, that it is top notch. It is one of the best events I've ever been to, and it was put on very, very well, very professional. It was a very positive event. There was no chaos, no anger, no, none of that. It was just an amazing experience that I did last year, and I just absolutely loved it. And I highly recommend anybody who hears about the Vulture City Paracon, you have to go. You have to.
Like I said, we've talked to Jay and Marie and really interested in going. It's just a matter that when we're one of those people that when we go on a trip, it has to involve family.
Yeah.
And sometimes getting from point A to point B can be a lot of fun, or it can be stressful. Yeah. It depends on which way we go. And so if we went across I-10, went down further south and across I-10, Vulture City's right off of it. It's not too bad. And I have family in Tucson, and I've been invited down to Tombstone.
Ooh, that's nice.
Many times. Yeah, I want to go pretty bad. My friends Rhonda and Dwight Hull put on an event there. Usually it's the first or second weekend in May, and it's a haunting in the desert is what they call it, and they get really good turnout. And they keep telling us, you come down, we'll take you all the places that the tourists don't get to see. And I was like, I'm hoping it's not the dumpster out back.
Oh, yeah.
But they know I'm goofy anyway. But it's one of those things. I want to go down there, but it's still what's more important: going to see my granddaughter or going to this event where there's people I might really enjoy meeting. So the granddaughter wins out every time.
Yeah.
So
family first.
That's right, because we all know that we love our family, but we also need to take time to visit those friends that we love.
Yeah, it's so awesome when you get to meet people that you've spoke to, or text back and forth from Facebook. Them, you've seen their videos, you've seen their posts, and then you finally get to meet them face to face, and it's like, oh my gosh, family. It's amazing. I love it.
It was funny. We showed up at this one event a couple years ago, the Haunted Road Media Paracon in Alton, and I'm still standing there, and all you hear is my people yelling out my name. And I'd never met these people in person before. They'd only seen me on Facebook, and I was like, I didn't realize that people were excited to see me, and because I am modest, I'm extremely modest, and I don't think that I'm important to other people. But my husband kept teasing me on the way there. He kept saying, well, don't you know who I am? And I'm like, I'm not doing that. He did it at the hotel. He did it everywhere.
That's
know
funny.
who I am. And then we get into this event. Everybody knew who I was, and all I could do was laugh because he kept going around going, don't you know who I am? The whole time.
Yeah.
So
and if anybody comes up to me, I hug them. I hug everybody.
It's hard right now, though, isn't it?
It's very, very hard. Everyone likes to have my hugs. They think it's very, very, what would you call it?
Special.
Healing and
Healing.
special.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you trained at all in Reiki?
No, but I did go to a Reiki course with a Reiki master. And we did a thing where he would walk by and he would put his hand above their heads and give them a color. And he stopped by me and was there for a while. He's like feeling my energy, and he goes, "You're a healer." He goes, "Would you consider, training under me?" And I'm like, I don't want to do this, But then it kind of dawned on me that when people hug me, they hug me for a long time, and I can feel their energy and they can feel mine. And there's times where I pull like negative energy from people. I can feel it and I pull it, and they're light and they're happy because of it. It's just weird. I can't explain. But yeah, I guess I do have healing properties in my energy, but I don't want to call myself a Reiki master or anything like that. I mean, it's just, I do it because I love to hug and I love to give people my positive energy. A lot of people need that.
Yeah, people do need positivity, especially in this negative time. And Ron asked, can you heal shingles?
No. Take a, I don't know, a nice hot bubble bath with some calamine, and I don't know.
Actually, the hot bath is the worst thing you can do. So just so you'll know,
then
a warm bath.
A hot bath. See,
take a nice warm bath. Yeah, you'll learn something.
Yeah.
You got shingles, you take a nice warm bath with oatmeal, with Caladial oatmeal, and that should help.
Add some brown sugar.
He'll add bourbon. That'll be. But right now he can't do that because he's on that antiviral for it.
Poor guy.
Like I said before, he's to you guys offline.
Tell him
they don't want me to
I'm
get sick.
Sending him positive healing energy his way right now.
He's hearing you. He listens to the show every time. When he's not listening, I can tell because he's got other things going on. He'll be listening, but he won't be chatting or anything. But he's asking questions, so he's paying attention.
Well, that's good. But I can't. I'm sorry, Ron. I wish I could for you.
We all do, because nothing's worse than your husband being sick.
Oh, that's not good.
I'd much rather me be sick than him, but I got all the time in the world I can work. Since I work from home, I don't have to leave if I don't feel good. But the last time I had shingles, I couldn't work for 2 weeks. I was in too much pain. So
I did don't want that.
Yeah, I did go to Seattle though after my sores healed up. So, which I didn't have too many, but yeah, shingles suck. And, yes, I know there's a vaccine, but it's not proven to not cause you to not get the shingles. You can still get them. So, but that's me, we're going to all learn. So do you have a bucket list location? I know everybody has one. You've got to have one.
Mine is St. Albans.
Oh.
I want it bad. It calls me. I dream about it.
Did you see how far it was from you?
Isn't it like an hour away from me?
Bradford, Virginia?
I think so. It's like 83 miles or something like that, which is really sucky because I want to go. But you have to pay money to get in there, and I don't have that kind of cash flow to get in there. So
you should contact Holly Mullins. She could probably get you in there for free.
Oh, my Holly.
Yes, she does. She's about 2 hours from you. Because she lives just south of my mom.
Misty actually messaged me yesterday. She goes, "Girl, do you know how far you are from me?"
Well,
yeah.
I've done the same thing with Holly. I would go visit my mom in Virgie, and she lived just down the road in Norton, or actually just before the Kentucky-Virginia state line. She lived on the Kentucky side, just right down the road. And we still, every time I would show up, her grandfather would get sick. And it's like, oh, well, there's not much I can do about that, so, and I was there, of course, to visit family, but if I could have seen her, I would have. I saw her the first time in Alton last year. So, but you know what? We're coming up on our last break. So everybody, if you have any questions at all to ask Michelle, this is your last chance.
Yeah.
So you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting in Birmingham, Alabama. Please go take your break, get a drink. Just make sure you come back because we'd like to hear what questions you have. So come on back now.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experience Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, come on. I'm Southern, but... Nope. That'll do. Hello. I am Kat Hobson, host of Paranormal Experience here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. I enjoy having guests from all areas of the paranormal, from ghosts to ufology to cryptids and beyond. You'll find some of the best researchers in their fields bringing you some great information. Join me on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p. Eastern here on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Oops.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my guest tonight is Michelle LeBaron. And Michelle, where can people find you if they wanted to find you?
I am on Facebook and I am on Instagram. Look up Ghost Magnet or Michelle LeBaron, LeBaron. I also have a REAP Investigations West Coast group page, Nevada, California chapter. You guys can go on there and eventually here real soon, we're getting this up and running. You can join and we will accept your invite or we'll accept you depending if you are a bully or a bad person. I will decline you like that. No questions asked. So,
well, the good news is if you've already blocked them, they can't request anyway.
No, it's a different. It's not my page.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I've had people pop up and I've declined them, and I don't care really. I don't need that kind of stuff on that page. So we monitor who we let in that group, and we will be doing Facebook Live investigations on there real soon with other teams. We're going to highlight other teams, highlight other paranormal investigators that nobody really knows about. And,
that's good.
Just bring them out and say, hey, let's investigate and, highlight them. We're going to do that. We're going to do a lot of investigations with the REAP investigations team back east and west and California and Midwest. I believe Scotty Rourke is heading up the Midwest, and Mike Gallant is doing the East, lower East, I think, or South. And then we've got Bill and Chris. They're our Mama and Papa Bear. We love them. But yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So just keep your eyes open.
Well, I am sharing these also in the chat room so that people can just click on them and go. And
the REAP, the REAP, R.E.A.P. investigation West Coast group page is different from our West Coast other page.
Right.
So, they'll have
you have a group page and you have a group page and a page.
Yes.
So yeah, I found both of those.
Awesome.
So
and
I
we
shared
also have
those.
Two Guys Paranormal, which is another page that the California branch has. They have a separate investigation team as well as REAP Investigations California branch. So they're pretty cool. You guys will like them.
Are you part of a team all the time, or are you sometimes just a solo investigator?
I am a solo person, but I have my best friend who is Lisa Ludwig. We do a lot of things together, solo and not with the team. I get asked to do things. She gets asked to do things. But, we do group stuff too. But I can't help that I'm being asked to go clear across the United States to investigate with somebody. So sometimes I do the solo thing. But I am doing more of the team thing this coming year and next year. I will be speaking at a couple events by myself, but I really would like to get this team thing going and promoting and collaborating with other teams and individuals. That's what our plan is.
So do you believe in para-unity, or do you just believe in unity, period?
I believe in I do believe in para-unity, but the only way you're going to get that is if you I don't know. I don't really like the para-unity thing. I don't, because there's so much competition, so many egos out there. Everybody's, there's a lot of people with motives and wrong motives. And I do believe in unity with the people that I vibe with and the people that I know personally, and I've investigated with. I will investigate, but if I have some type of weird energy coming towards me, or not feeling right about a certain person, I won't work with them.
That's one of the things that I use my gut to tell me.
Yep, my intuition. I swear, my intuition has never been wrong. Never. Anytime I've thought of something or felt something about somebody, but try to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I always want to see the good in them, and they turn around and they crap on me, and I won't do that anymore.
It bit you in the butt.
Yep. Nope.
I always questioned mine until one time we had test drove a vehicle, and we were going to go back the next day. It was too late to do any paperwork. And on the way home, both my husband and I got stomach aches. And we decided we couldn't buy that vehicle because of that. And it was good that we didn't, because it was a stick, and I was not a very good stick driver. I still ain't. But we knew at that point that we couldn't buy that vehicle because we both got physically ill.
Yep.
So
always go with your gut feeling. You have a feeling about somebody, there's something just not anything quite right about them, go with it.
Yeah, there's been times where I've had that feeling and I was wrong on a couple people, but maybe it was because those people did change from the first time I met them to later on.
Possibly, yes, possibly.
Because, sometimes you regret those snap decisions that you make from your gut.
Well, I've just been through way too much.
I know.
I am very, very cautious of people and their motives.
I don't blame you there. I really don't.
I've been just totally hurt, and it's I can't do it anymore. I'm still the nice Mish, the loving, kind, funny, happy Mish, but I don't want to be hurt. My heart has been hurt way too much. And it's turned black a little bit, cold.
I can see that. So, well, I look forward to seeing what you and Lisa do with REAP investigations. It will be interesting to see all the things that you guys all have to share.
Oh yeah, my West Coast team, we're amazing. I've got Lisa Ludwig, I've got Rhonda Grimes, I've got Casey Rathman. We're some powerful women, and we kick butt. We do. And I've got Brian and Charlie in California. They're amazing as well. We're a great team. I'm excited what's coming. So, and there's going to be a lot coming.
I believe that. I do believe that you guys have a lot to share with everyone, and I think I'm friends with all but one person on your team, but that's they all have really great reputations that I know of.
Yep.
So can't ask for better than that, and you guys work well together, so that counts for a lot.
Yeah. We're a loving bunch. We all love each other. It's great. It's great energy.
I can see that. So, so what do you? We still got about 6 minutes.
Okay.
So, where do you see your team in 5 years? Here's the job interview question.
Oh my gosh, in 5 years. Oh, I'm hoping we stay together and do what we do. You know, I can't say, because, you know, a lot of teams, I've seen a lot of teams break up.
Yeah, me too.
People, you know, going their own path, doing their own thing. I mean, I've done it. I was on a team and then I went solo. I mean, some people are going to choose you know, another road, or maybe find something else that they love to do or whatever. I mean, we just want to focus on the now and not the future.
Well, that's fair. You know, because some of the teams I've talked to do have future goals, and they have a timeline on which they're actually trying to meet their goals. But I think it's more, they're doing it more as business.
Us, we're out there, you know, to mentor, to help, to collaborate with other teams, to work together and try and find answers, you know. That's it.
What do you feel is the most important aspect of a paranormal investigation?
Teamwork, working together. That's my thing. Getting along, working together, vibing together. I mean, that's pretty much no drama. Absolutely no drama. Any drama, I will squash it right then and there. We won't do it.
Is there any advice you can give to somebody brand new getting into the paranormal?
Just be you. Don't get a big head. You know, there's a lot of people out there that think they're famous. You know, I've got 5 minutes on a television show. Hey, I'm a public figure. Hey, look at me. No, that's not famous.
No.
You know,
been there, done that. I mean,
just do. If you feel that that's your passion and that's what you want to do it. Start out basic. You know, get a little recorder, get a K2 meter, get some dowsing rods. Use your body, your feelings, your senses. You know, start out like that, and then, I mean, don't do residentials. You know, unless you are, you know, work with other teams that are used to doing residentials and possibly can teach you. Just don't go in there and do that, because sometimes that's a big mess. Have respect for the haunted locations and the historical buildings and landmarks and all that good stuff, and cemeteries. Just be respectful. That's all.
That's all very good advice. So if there's one thing you want everybody to remember you by, what is that?
Just my kind soul, my heart, just who I am. I just hope when someone hears my name, they smile. And that's all.
Well, you know, I do when I hear your name. So
Thank you.
And Kat says every time. So you've made it that far with at least the two of us. Plus we know your team members. So
yes.
You know, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to thank you so much for coming on my show tonight. I know that you're out of town and everything. So I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy work schedule to be on. And everyone might thank you. And my guest next week is Jill Shelley. So it'll be interesting to have someone on, another person who's never been on my show before. And we will learn all about Jill and the paranormal through her eyes. And because, we learn so much through other people's eyes. So that's all I can say. I know I've learned a lot just listening to everybody give me their stories. So, but everyone, you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We will see you all next Monday at 7 p.m. Central right here. And thank you again, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Good night, everyone.